Morning everyone! Welcome to Cooking with Allie. Just kidding. Today I thought I would just share with you one of my favorite recipes as of lately. For those of you that know me pretty well, you know I'm not the greatest chef. I'm definitely not the cook in our family. That would be my husband, Seaman. He's a great cook, but me, not so much. I really like to bake, and sometimes I come across recipes that I just really enjoy making for some reason, and this is one of them. I will be sharing with you how to make protein granola. I originally found this recipe through Sarah's Day. She introduced me to the idea of protein powder in granola. I had never thought of that before, but I think it's a genius idea. So I wanted to try her recipe, but I quickly realized I didn't have a lot of the ingredients she had, and I didn't have access to them either. So I just kind of substituted with what I did have, and that is what I'm showing you today. So first thing you want to do is set your oven on. That's something I literally always forget when I'm in the kitchen cooking or baking something. And it's very frustrating when you get to the end of your prepping and you go to put your stuff in the oven and it's not on. So you're going to set it to 170 Celsius because I have a European oven here in Norway, or I think that's around 330, 340 degrees Fahrenheit. So once you get the oven on, then you can just get started mixing. All right, let's get started. So first you have oats. I like to use the big oats, not like the tiny crushed ones. I don't know terminology very well, but they're big, they're oats. I used 1 cup of them. Next, you can add your fruits. So I use dry fruits. My favorite in this recipe is cranberry. I have used prunes and dates. However, I've noticed that when I use those, they get so hard in the oven, and then after, when you're actually eating it, it just doesn't feel good on your teeth. So I like cranberries because they're nice and soft and yummy. So I use about ½ a cup of cranberries. Coconut chips. This is by far my favorite ingredient in this granola recipe. I just love how crunchy it is. Oh, it's so good. You can use shredded coconut as well, or no coconut if you don't like it. I'm not a huge fan of shredded coconut, so coconut chips it is. And I also used ½ a cup of this. Now for the nuts, you can use whatever kind of nuts you like again, but I really like roasted almonds because I feel like it's just really crunchy and salty. Even though there's no salt added in these particular almonds, it still feels like it. So you can chop them roughly or buy them pre-chopped or sliced in the grocery stores. I did not do that here because a bag of pre-sliced almonds is a fortune here because they import them from America. So I chop them myself. Yeah, and I also use about ½ a cup to 1 cup, you can decide, but I use closer to ½ a cup. All right, next you have your seeds. I use, again, with this recipe, it is so easy to just make it your own, put what you like in it, take out what you don't like. For me, I really like chia seeds and flax seeds. I think they're just yummy and good for you. So I have 1 tablespoon of each of those in this little cup. Salt, I don't really know. I kind of just eyeball it. I use about a pinch. So let's say that was a pinch. And for the cinnamon, this, take it or leave it, but I personally love it. I think in Sarah's Day, she uses a whole tablespoon. That seems like a lot to me, but I kind of just also eyeball the cinnamon, just use maybe like ½ a tablespoon. think it just makes it so rich. It reminds me of fall, even though it's summer and that may be kind of weird. I think it's really good. Okay, so we have all of those ingredients. Now for the part that's really new to me, is protein powder. And Steven and I usually get whey protein, but we saw this in the store and we wanted to try it. So it's Supreme Casein powder. So I usually just use a scoop that comes with these bags, but I need to wipe off my, yes. Sorry, I just need to wipe off my tablespoon scoop before I stick it in the bag. I usually use the scooper that comes in the protein bags, but it doesn't have measurement on it, so I decided the easiest way would be to just use tablespoons, and I'm going to use 4 pretty big tablespoons of this protein powder. And 4. Yum! All right. So this granola actually has about 52 grams of protein in it, with the protein powder, the almonds, and the oats in itself. I usually like to double this recipe, but for the sake of this video, I've just stuck with the original recipe measurements. But now for the fun part, we are going to mix it. So first I just like to mix the dry ingredients together and make sure everything is coated with the protein powder, because I feel like it just maybe tastes better that way. And then I add the wet ingredients, which mine weren't actually that wet to begin with. I'm using coconut oil, which in my kitchen, since it's so cold here still, it's just hard as a rock. And I'm also using spun honey, which I'm just using because we have it and we need to use it. But you can use normal honey, you can use maple syrup, you can use some other kind of sweetener, agave, anything you'd like. But I do stick with coconut oil and honey. And since it was so hard, both of those ingredients, I just stuck it in the microwave for about 30-40 seconds. And then just pour it in. So good. I get all of that good stuff. And the key to how much liquid you use is really all changes. Like every time I make this recipe, I either add a little more or like I haven't added enough. But really the key is that you want everything in here to be coated with oil so that it's nice and sticky. Not too sticky, but not too dry either. Kind of looks like this is a little dry. I don't know if you can see from there, but it's not as sticky as I want it to be. So I think I might just add another scoop of coconut oil. And what I did use was 2 tablespoons coconut oil and 2 tablespoons spun honey. So I do think that this would benefit with just 1 more scoop of coconut oil, so I'm going to do that really fast. Alright, so I heated some more coconut oil in the microwave. Ooh, this container is really warm. But I think that will just do the trick. I'll scoop out the rest of the honey that got stuck in there too. All right. Yeah, this is looking better already. Yum. All right, guys, well, that is our mixture. I'm just going to spread it out on the cookie sheet. I do line it with baking paper first, just so that the cooking sheet doesn't get too grimy. But I can show you how I do that, and then you just pop it in the oven. yeah, guys, so that is my protein granola recipe. I hope that you've enjoyed this and maybe want to go make some of this yummy granola yourselves. I just popped in the oven. I check it every 10 minutes. I take it out, I flip it around just so that each part gets nice and golden brown. And when you see that it is that nice shade of brown color, you just take it out of the oven and let it cool. There it is.